In the world of Hollywood, movies get greenlit and redlit. They get remade and rebooted. But we are the ideal. I'm Sam Gasch, and you are listening to Ideal Remake. You are listening to Ideal Remake. We take movies that either have been, will be, or should be remade and talk about what the ideal version of that remake would be. Today, we're taking the untested advice of two beings who claim to be ghosts with Devlin Wilder. Devlin, is Peanut Butter Solution a movie that has been, will be, or should be remade?
It definitely will be remade.
Oh, you think?
In the next 10 years, I estimate.
I think that's a good estimate. Tell me why.
Listen, everything comes back. We got a new Ghostbusters. We got, Full House came back. Roseanne came back. It's all coming back. It all comes back around.
What's the name for Roseanne? What was it? Garfield minus Garfield? Roseanne minus Roseanne?
The Connors. It's just the Connors now.
That's probably better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
For everyone. Except Roseanne, maybe, I guess.
And honestly, now the collar's off. She can do whatever she wants, and it's just turns
she's
out
going to.
I'm sure that's true.
I mean, I don't think she's really hurting.
No.
I think she's okay.
Which leads you to wonder why they were going to do the show in the first place, because I don't think anyone is hurting, but you know what? It's not important.
No.
We're not here to talk about Roseanne. We're here to talk about
the weirdest movie ever made.
Peanut Butter Solution. Now, Peanut Butter Solution is a movie that is so good that you can find it entirely for free on YouTube.
That's right.
That's right. Peanut Butter Solution, a movie that, when I say, have you heard of Peanut Butter Solution?
Chances are, you probably haven't.
Everyone, with the exception of one or two people, and you, Devlin, who recommended the movie, have said, what?
What the hell is that?
And the way I've been describing the movie is, so there's this kid who gets scared so bad he loses all of his hair. Mm-hmm. And then he encounters two ghosts who are robbing him in his kitchen, and they give him a formula for something that is supposed to regrow his hair, and hijinks ensue.
That's about a short a version as you can put it. Yeah, I would say so.
Because that sentence both describes this movie and has nothing to do with this movie. How on earth did you first hear about Peanut Butter Solution?
So, in my tiny town of Centralia, Illinois...
say the name of it again?
Centralia.
And where in Illinois is it?
It is smack dab in the middle of...
Would you say it's in the
South
center?
Central Illinois.
So Centralia is in the center?
That's correct.
That's the joke I'm trying to make?
Exactly.
Is it working?
It is.
All right.
And it is a joke so lame that it entirely encompasses the essence of the town.
All right, good.
Yeah. I believe the only thing of news that ever actually happened in Centralia was in 1932. Is me! Hooray! And here I am. Was in 1932. They had a coal mine disaster. Made all the front pages throughout the Tri-County area, and that was that. Now we have, and then for a long time we had the winningest high school basketball team in the nation, the
That's
Orphans, cool. Which is...
Oh, no!
Oh, yes.
Oh, Devlin, no.
Oh, yes. Thankfully, I have nothing to do with athletics, unless you're talking about Quidditch, so I didn't have anything to do with them. But yeah, since I think they were, quote, the winningest until about, I just totally did air quotes, I hate myself, until about 3 or 4 years ago or something, which is nuts.
That's wild.
It's totally nuts. In fact, the high school and football teams were so popular for so long that the school board, this was about 7 years ago or so, lobbied the county or the state or both to give them like $3 million to build a new high school, and it looks like the Disney castle. Like, this high school is something from the future, and
that is literally crazy.
The old high school that I grew up in, that I lived every moment of my teenage years in, and
gone.
All that stuff. Actually, it's still there. They just left it there. It's a ghost town. In fact,
Creepy.
It's 100% haunted. I have anytime I get to go back, I go over there and just walk around at night. It'll give you that feeling like Peter Parker seeing seeing Thanos' ships from the bus. I mean, it'll just raise all your
the
arm
tingles.
hairs. That's right.
Ooh, I don't like that at all. Also, like, I would hate to be one of those kids on the team. It's like, we're the winningest team for 20 years.
That's right.
Are you going to be the one that screws it up?
Right.
Are you? Mm-hmm.
I'd be intimidated.
Pass the ball, Jake.
Exactly.
We have too much riding on this. We built a Disney castle.
It's no joke, man. It's no joke.
So I'm sorry. So how did that lead to you hearing about this movie?
Yes, that had nothing to do with me hearing about that.
No, but it was a great...
I love tangents. So there was nothing to do in my town, as you may have guessed. So I would go to the local grocery store, which was IGA. They had a little
shout out
video
IGA.
department. That's right. I would just go in and rent pretty much like the same 5 movies every single week and just watch them over and over and over and over. One was Ghostbusters, and one of them was The Peanut Butter Solution. And why I got such a kick out of that movie, I just cannot tell you. I've always had a pretty warped, very full imagination, and for whatever reason, as weird and creepy and sort of terrifying as this movie is, I loved it, and I kept watching it.
I mean, that's amazing. That certainly tells me your history with the movie, but it doesn't tell me how you first heard about it. Because if you rented these 5 movies over and over again, there must have been the first time that you were like, "Oh, Peanut Butter Solution."
I think probably
I shall try.
I think probably it was something that my mom saw and very innocently thought, "Oh, this has magical fantasy elements in it," and she rented it for me. I'm sure that's how it happened originally. Is that my mom rented it for me, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, this is nuts! I have to keep watching this forever," and then. Once I brought it up to you, I probably hadn't seen it in 15 years or something. But, and I will admit to you now that we're finally sitting here, because we've been trying to do this for months.
Yeah.
So sorry. Mostly my fault.
Please, don't worry about it.
Life is crazy, man. I was going to watch it, and then I didn't until today, and I got about 60% through it. But I have most... I think I have most of what happened in my mind.
I also have an admission to make about this movie. It's entirely available on YouTube.
That's
so
right.
I watched it at 1.5 times speed. Because I was like, wow, this is a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I was really excited to talk about this movie. Because it's one of those movies that I'm sorry, I know this is connected to your childhood. This is a bad movie.
Oh, it's terrible.
This is an awful movie.
Oh, yeah.
I hate every single person in this entire movie. Every single one. There are children in this movie. I hate them.
I agree.
There is someone in this movie who I respected as an actor.
No longer.
And I now have to not respect him as an actor. I'm going to give this...
It's the guy who played the
bully.
Senor, right?
Senor?
The bully?
Oh, I don't know who plays the Senor. Is the Senor the dude from Battlestar Galactica? I thought the bully was the dude from Battlestar Galactica. There's someone in this movie...
Oh, the bully. Right. Oh, right.
As far as I can tell, the most famous person in this movie went on to have a role in Battlestar Galactica. He was the one who looks like John McCain in Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
And it's... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was the dad. The dad is...
yes.
Because when I'm looking
we have a lot to talk about with the dad.
Yeah. Well, I was looking this up on IMDb, and the character's name is Billy Baskin. I'm like, oh, Billy Baskin, that must be one of the kids. No, that's the dad.
Yeah.
So you don't name it William Baskin, Bill Baskin. No, Billy Baskin, not even just the dad.
Right.
The actor who plays it is... So, here's the thing about most of the episodes we do. Normally I can say, watch this movie, talk to someone who's watched this movie. We have to give a synopsis of this movie. We have to walk through this movie.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job starting out. It's really hard to simplify the plot of this movie because it has 32 different plots. It really does. I mean, it starts out with this. I mean, the opening production title is like they're going into a circus or something.
It's so weird.
You're watching it the first time and going, oh, this is going to be a fun, bright, happy kids movie. Oh boy, are you in for several surprises.
And then it's a child voiceovering about the futility of life.
That's right.
So, alright, so let's describe this basic family unit. It's Matthew the kid, and that's the last name you're going to get from me. Because I'm just going to describe them in relation to Matthew the kid. It's Matthew the kid, his sister, and his dad.
The same way I have it in my notes.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. So, the mom left, died, left.
I have that exact note. She left. We don't know where she went. We don't know what happened. There's no like mystery opened up.
No.
Until later we find out, okay, she went to Australia. Because remember, he keeps trying to call his mom and things keep happening. Right. And then later on, about halfway through the movie, he calls and he's like, what's the country code yes for Australia? So we know that she's in Australia, but we don't really know the circumstances. And it's
frankly,
not
it doesn't
really
matter.
important, but it seems like it's going to be a very dramatic point, like because it's brought up in the first minute of the movie, like mom's not around.
Voiceover about how sad I am about it.
Right. But then, okay.
Oh God, it's so weird.
I don't have any idea how I'm going to stay with in time. I'm probably going to bounce all over because there's so much to get through in this freaking movie.
It's too much.
Did you notice when the dad, when they're in the hospital? I should probably save this for later, but I'm afraid if I don't bring it up now, I'll forget.
Go for it.
When they're coming to the hospital, they're walking. There's this shot where they're walking through the hallway, and the nurse walks by, and the dad is totally checking her out. Full body look.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was so gross and weird.
The entire scene, like, they left that in there specifically. I don't know if they were trying to say something about the dad, but they obviously were, because it was not just the one moment. She walks by, he gives her a full body check. She walks further down the hall. He looks over his shoulder and gives her another look. It's like, all right, Mr. Creepy.
It's a French movie, right?
Is it French?
It's not. Something. It's in English.
I got so confused.
But like it's like a French production company or something, and it's got to be the point where the director was like, "This is funny. People will laugh at this." But like, okay, so that the dad's not even the most interesting character for me.
No.
The most interesting and best character in the movie is his sister.
Right.
Because the mom's quote unquote gone, so the sister starts wearing her clothes and just pretending to be the mom.
That's right.
I kept expecting there to be a scene where the dad's sitting in bed and the sister crawls into bed next to him. And I just want it, like, in our remake, I want that to happen, and the dad just goes, go to your room!
Yeah.
Look, I get that you want to like help take care of us and whatever.
In the opening scene, that's one of the first points of contention between her and Michael, is that she's wearing their mother's robe, and he's like, oh, there she is, wearing my mom's robe again. And you expect him to, if it were made now, he would have been like, that bitch.
Honestly, he would. And all right,
and she kind of is.
And yet she's still the best character.
Oh, absolutely.
But she's trying to be like mature.
Are you sure she's the best character though? Because then we've got Connie, aka Conrad, but he goes by Connie.
His friend?
Yes.
I hate his friend. Again, I hate all these stupid kids. But all right, I'm trying to figure out. So the production company is La Production La Fe Inc.
Oh.
So it's, oh no, I'm sorry. It's not French. It's Quebecois.
Ah.
So it probably filmed in Montreal, Canada.
That makes total sense.
The director is Michael Rubo. The writers are Wojtek Jasny, André Pelletier, Louis This is a bad movie. So basically,
but it's what you have to watch.
So this kid, Matthew, goes on this diatribe about how everything's terrible in the world. He saw a random homeless guy on the side of the street, and it was so sad for him.
And gave him all the money that he had.
All the money that he had. I'm like, all right, $1.
Right.
It's nice of you.
He dug really deep for that dollar, too. He's like...
Because I, Matthew, am a good person.
Right.
And he proceeds to spend the entirety of the movie talking about how much better he is than everyone else in this movie. Mm-hmm. Because I hate Matthew.
And mostly voiceover.
Yeah. Look, there's a reason why a lot of modern writers... Yeah, well, there's a lot of reason why modern writers and people like, voiceover is so bad, it's such a cop-out. This is the example. Here's why.
That's right.
So, Connie, his friend, is the only splash of color in this whole movie. He's this Asian kid.
He's the token Asian.
Token Asian, who I feel like is trying to do his impression of the Asian kid from The Goonies the entire movie.
Uh-huh. And Indiana Jones.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Look, Matthew's awful to this poor kid, and this kid just keeps protecting Matthew. I don't know why. It's because everyone hates him because he's Asian.
In the part where they go up to... Well, no.
The abandoned building?
You're absolutely right. Well, he sort of protects him, but he's also an instigator. Because, remember, Connie is the one that kept trying to get him to go...
Into the building. So there's this abandoned building. Connie kind of gets up this ramp of like debris. Like, I'm going to go in. It's too scary. I'm running away. I bet you can't get further than me. No, stop. Don't go in the building, you idiot. And that's the scene. And then Matthew gets so scared that he screams, tumbles down the debris, and everyone's like, Macaulay Culkin Home Alone moment. Oh my God. He has no hair. Completely bald. For some reason, he's scared so bad he loses all of his hair. He saw something,
but we don't know what he saw. And what I love so much about that, too, is like... So, the thing with the building is we hear early on that there was this big fire. There was this big fire that happened, and it burnt this building down. And it's been there for a long time. It was like an old estate. We don't really know its official history. We know it's been there for a long time. There was this huge fire that Connie's all excited about because there were fire trucks everywhere and stuff. And he was,
and kids love fire trucks.
He's kind of a glutton for disaster. He's like, it was so awesome. I heard the screams and I saw the firefighters running around. Okay.
I hate those firefighters.
But they get to this building and there's all... The house is still mostly there except for this hill of rubble. And then there's this perfectly together like a bridgeway right up to the doorway on the second floor, very conveniently, right? And so Connie starts crawling up it Spider-Man style, and he's like, "Come on, Michael, come on, you gotta check this out. That's why we're here. We came all the way here. You gotta go." So then Connie jumps out, Michael jumps in, starts Spider-Maning up, and then immediately, seconds later, Connie is at the bottom of the rubble going, "Dude, actually, this is a terrible idea. You shouldn't go any farther. No, stop. No, don't keep going. This is gonna end up terrible." And then, of course, he falls right inside and tumbles down.
And screams, and we've got an inciting incident.
Yeah, we sure do.
So, Matthew loses all of his hair, and his life is over.
Completely.
Everyone hates him. They make fun of him. He can't play sports. He's just miserable. He is an awful person to everyone around him because he has no hair. And so finally, like, the sister and the dad, they're like, "We got you something. We got you a wig." And so finally, he's like, "I look like a real boy again."
Well, then it takes him a few tries
to put it on right.
He's being totally whiny, and although they're like, they trick him into sitting on the couch so they can put this thing on him.
Because
Like,
he's stopped going to school. He's refused. He's just been wallowing in self-pity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The best way to live.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they have to trick him to get the wig on. They finally get around, I look like a real boy again, it's great. And he goes to play soccer. And some bully is like, are you wearing a wig? And he just pulls the wig off. He's like, my life's ruined. And he flails home and is sad again.
Yep.
And that night, what happens, Devlin?
And then he is visited by the ghost of Christmas past and Christmas present. Oh, wait, that's a different movie. He is visited...
That would imply that he learns a lesson.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Which he does not.
Not at all.
Oh, no. He is visited by the ghost of the homeless guy who
he gave all he had, which I didn't realize that's who that was.
Right. Well, because the lighting is so bad... As many times as I've seen it in, I've never really seen it in good resolution, I don't think. But it's a little hard to tell. But there's two ghosts. One of them is the homeless guy that he helped, who died the night of the fire.
We're
told
died
later in the scene. And this very creepy lady who looks sort of like the human version of the bag lady from the Labyrinth in the trash pile.
Oh, I thought she looked like the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2.
Is that... No, it's
not
that
the same
lady.
actress,
but oh my
but
god,
that's who it looks
I didn't
like.
even think about that. Oh my god, you're right.
It's basically two homeless people are in his house. They're in his kitchen. And they're like, no, we're not homeless. We're ghosts. Ooh. You believe us. He's like, how do I believe you? He's like, well, you can only hear us because you can see us. Close your eyes and you won't hear us anymore. And so it shows this image of like the homeless guy slamming on the cabinets. You don't hear anything. But that doesn't mean anything. He closes his eyes and it's silent.
It really doesn't.
For all that matters, they're just the homeless people like, yo, we're not robbing you.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. And like, look, there are a lot of different ways you can prove your ghosts. On a budget as low as this...
They could have had some seer sheets
as
over their heads, a la Beetlejuice, you know?
How much do you think this movie cost?
Okay. So, I thought about this a lot over the years. I really have. I've never bothered to check IMDb because I like to use my own imagination. I don't know if it says on there or not.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
I want to say that it cost a crap ton more than it really should have. I want to say that they spent like $20,000 on this movie.
That's a crap ton more than it should have actually cost? $20,000?
Yes.
Well, your logic is right. They did spend a crap ton more on this movie than it looks like they did. $2,270,000.
Oh, can I cuss on this?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
In 1986.
Holy gods.
In 1986, they spent $2.27 million.
$2 million. Holy crap.
And
oh my god.
Now here's the thing. I know where that money went. I know the two places that money went.
Probably went to all the drugs they were smoking while they were making it.
Okay, I know the three places it went. Now that you've added drugs, you're right.
Yeah.
I'll get to them. I will flag them when I keep going through our synopsis.
Okay, good.
So basically what happens is, it's their ghosts. Oh, you're ghosts. I bet you have a magical solution to the fact that I don't have any hair. We're ghosts. Yeah, we do. We're going to give you a magic formula. Yep. It's going to be great. So it turns out that it's a magic formula involving peanut butter. That's all we know. Name of the movie, it's a peanut butter solution. And Matthew screws it up. And has to randomly, the ghosts show up and they're like, so how's it going? He's like, I screwed it up. Can I have the formula again? It's a good thing we're back.
And I both love and am disturbed by every single scene that happened. I love that scene where he messes it up because he's a kid. He's putting it into a smoothie. Mm-hmm. A very smart way to go about it.
Absolutely.
With the smoothie machine. That's great.
Absolutely.
Well done, kid.
Fully agree.
And his dad and sister are watching him from the doorway, thinking, like,
this kid's lost it.
He is totally gone, man. Right. He is totally gone. They thought he was making a suicide solution. so they run in, and he's like, take that and throw it in the toilet.
Oh, that's right.
Throw it out.
She flushes it.
She flushes the whole thing down the toilet. And then he goes back and... Of course he's like, because my life is over.
Because he doesn't write it down, so he has to get it again because the ghosts happen to show up again.
That's right.
Because, good Robin in the Baskin household.
Yep.
So he gets the solution again, and he figures it out. And what was it? It was only just do 1 scoop of peanut butter.
Right. One tablespoon of peanut butter. And she specifically says, and it does one of those, it zooms in as she's saying it. Very important. 1 tablespoon. And what is the line she says? She's like, he asks her, he's like, what happens if I use more than I'm supposed to? And she's like, you won't like what happens. Or something. Crap! I should have written that down. I have all these notes.
It's some obscure, ooh, it won't be good.
Exactly. It won't be good. And he's like, okay. But then...
No one's ever reported
after
positive.
he makes it the second time, and he gets it right.
Uh-huh.
He's got all the ingredients the way they need to be in a giant mixer bowl. And he's in the bathroom mirror, and he's putting it on very, and it keeps dripping down his face.
It's too watery.
He
needs to add something to thicken it up so it doesn't run down into his eyes.
Coagulant.
Thank you. I was thinking a starchy thing, but coagulant's the correct scientific term. Very good.
I get it right sometimes.
No, that was a good pull. Full marks. So he adds another scoop of peanut butter because that's the coagulant.
He adds 1. And then he takes a dip. It's not quite thick enough. He's like, I'll make it 5. So it's 5 total scoops. I only know this because I literally just saw it and wrote down the note.
Yeah,
5 scoops, which makes it nice and thick. And then he starts putting it on, and it's staying right on his head where he wants it. And then what I thought was so hilarious was... in his inner monologue, he goes, wow, I'm a better painter than my dad.
Yeah. That was so shitty.
His dad is a painter.
His dad's a painter.
A really shitty one.
No, he makes his living off painting.
You're right.
The art teacher hates the kid because because the art teacher's a failed painter and the dad's a successful painter.
Yep.
The art teacher's a monster. Anyway, so basically he turns his head, and there's only one thing that entire scene made me think, and that is chia.
Yep, exactly.
So he turns his head into a chia pet, and he goes to sleep with this whole goop on his head. He wakes up in the morning, and he's nothing.
Still totally bald.
He's upset.
Bald as a hairless chihuahua.
Yeah. And so he goes downstairs, and by the time he gets from upstairs to downstairs, little buds of hair.
Well, he doesn't see anything.
Right.
He does. He looks in the toaster, which is what you do as a kid.
Of course.
You use a toaster as a mirror, of course. And he doesn't see anything, but then his sister is randomly walking by, and she's like, "What? What is that on your head?" Insert random plot device.
Sure.
What is that on your head? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me go find the magnifying glass. So she's looking through the kitchen, through all of the doors to find the magnifying glass, sits down and looks really closely to find little tiny, only seen through a magnifying glass
she could see from far away,
walking from the other side of the room.
But then needs a magnifying glass.
Exactly.
Logic.
Yep.
So Matthew is getting hair, but it keeps growing. It doesn't stop growing. It grows a lot. Conservation of mass out the window.
Nope.
And it just doesn't stop. And they're like, well, what'd you do? Well, I had this peanut butter solution, and it worked, and it grew my hair back. That's amazing. Cool. And then Connie comes over and is like, oh my gosh, that's great. Let's make this movie really weird.
As if it wasn't already. They're having this conversation in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
For I don't remember why. but they're talking about it in the bathroom. Oh, well, I guess it's because
there's a mirror
He was trying... Well, there's the mirror, and he was trying to keep it secret.
Yeah.
He didn't want to tell his dad and sister about it, I guess, or
for
whatever.
some reason.
Whatever. So he's telling Connie about it, and Connie's like, "Ooh, I know some places. I can try that out."
Connie decides to put the solution on his dick.
He sure does.
Because he wants dick hair.
Yep. As you do.
As you do.
I mean...
It's not a weird time in your life when you're like, what is happening to me? Make it stop. I don't want this. Make it go away. It's, no. I want luxurious locks, luxurious locks in the crotchal area.
I want a full swamp down there.
And so the problem that Matthew has of his hair keeps growing and growing and growing, Connie has that too. Like, he wakes up and there's hair poking out of the bottom of his pants.
Yep.
And it's weird. And so they keep making us picture kid dick.
They sure do.
And it's, why would a movie do that to us?
Not to mention the part where we haven't gotten to yet, where the senor is a total perv and a pedo. But,
for sure. We're gonna get to that. So basically what happens is they try to hide the fact that Matthew's hair keeps growing, and they can't because it just keeps growing. To the point where the dad gets called into the office and the principal's like, your kid's hair is a problem. We don't know what this is. We don't want to submit it to science. Your kid's magical hair is a problem and is disrupting class.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've chosen to do. We're not going to cut it because you can't, because it grows back too fast.
Yep. Which is all sort of like they make a big deal of it, but it's not nearly a big enough deal. Like, when he first started. Okay, let's rewind a bit to his sister finding the sprigs.
Right.
She sees the sprigs, and then within a matter of hours, he's got full Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yes.
Like, he's got a full head of hair. Well, he gets his normal, like within an hour, he gets his normal hair back. And he's swimming his hands through it. Oh my God. Oh, it feels so good to have my hair back. Oh my God. And it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks fine. Looks boyish like it's supposed to. And then minutes later, it's falling over his shoulders. Uh-huh. And then it shows him at his desk in the classroom. And he's got like,
So that is the first place where I think this budget went. The quantity of wig hair that needed to be purchased, because that's not something that's going to get sold anywhere else.
They had to buy like a whole wig shop to do this movie.
And even still, to like figure out how to make, because its hair is it's beyond the length of a wig. So it's wigs upon wigs. It's extensions upon extensions.
That's right. And the one part, also while he's sitting there at the desk, it shows the little strand move, like it's growing out. You see it actively growing, like twitching over his eyebrow to show, oh my God, it's really growing fast here, audience.
Yeah.
I wonder what sort of little thing they made to put like inside of there to
I
make
assume
it.
Someone's hanging behind him with a wire, just slowly pushing their arm up.
Because it looked like it was falling right from the top of his scalp. That effect was pretty cool.
The effect was good. They did a lot of effects with the hair where I was like, oh, all the money they didn't spend on the ghosts, they spent on the hair.
Yep.
And but yes, that was cool. So what ends up happening is it's like an actual problem. Like they're figuring out like what, and then eventually like they start cutting the hair, and I don't remember how it got attached to a brush. No, I don't. How did it? Okay, so there's this art teacher who's a monster. He's had 17 different art teacher jobs, and he ends up getting fired.
We got to talk about the art teacher.
So this art teacher is just an awful human being to the point where he's a monster, but he has this dog that he loves.
Yes,
it's his only redeeming quality. It's the best character in the movie. That dog,
in place of a what would be. If they were a little older, would be the nude model at the front of the class. He's using the dog as a model for, I mean, they're got to be in like junior high.
Max.
Right? And they're taking this full-on art class. I mean, I've never observed a public school that has one of these programs, But I guess this was in France,
right?
Or this was supposedly to, even though it's an
Quebec,
English movie,
whatever.
Okay. Oh, that's right, Canada. We got there earlier. Right. Okay.
And
so maybe they have those. I don't know.
And so everyone's drawing the dog, and some people are doing fine, and Matthew like drew the dog, and then like a sun in the picture. And the art teacher tears the picture down, crumples it up, throws it away.
Well, he was
He
was drawing flames.
Whatever.
The dog was on fire for some reason. I slightly couldn't blame them.
I thought it was like drawing flames on the side of a car. I was like, look how awesome this dog is.
I suppose so.
This dog's on a skateboard.
It was a heavy metal dog. Yeah.
And so a bunch of different things happen. The art teacher gets fired because it turns out he's not actually a teacher. He's just claiming to be a teacher.
Yeah, he's been going from school to school pulling hijinks.
Right.
We don't know the level of hijinks until sort of later, even though it doesn't really. Well, anyway,
we assume he touched a kid, but he hates Matthew because Matthew's dad is a successful artist.
Right.
So he ends up, hey, Matthew's on his own walking home. And the art teacher just kidnaps Matthew.
Yeah. Just throws him right in his car.
Throws him right in the car.
Off his bike, pushes him down, and then pushes him off his bike, picks him up, puts him in his car.
Right. Which sets up this whole, we have to find Matthew, Fine, whatever. But on the other side of it, Matthew's in this art teacher's house, and the hair's a problem. It keeps like getting...
It's
and art teacher's
everywhere.
I have to
crap. Oh no. Losing geek cred. What's the Medusa. Like, it's very Medusa. It keeps growing out. Isn't there a Marvel character named Medusa?
Oh, the Inhuman. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the one with snakes for hair. Yeah, Medusa's the right one.
Yeah.
Because they had the Inhumans show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She's an Inhuman, but there's God Medusa and then the hero Medusa, which has got to get really confusing.
Yeah, no, those snakes don't really go anywhere. Oh, right, the Marvel character.
Right. Yes.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
And so our teacher needs to find something to do with it, and he ends up like figuring out, oh, well, this is hair. This would work really well. So he ends up snipping the hair and selling it as paintbrushes.
And then, because he couldn't cut it fast enough from the hair growing out.
Right.
He starts kidnapping
more children.
More kids to use
as hair cutters.
As his sweatshop.
Hair cutters and brush manufacturers. And you're just sitting there like, what?
I watched this as a child.
This movie self-categorizes as adventure, comedy, family.
It sure does.
But it is described as like when you're on YouTube, it's described it as like horror. And you're like, no. But then you get to this and you're like, well, it is kidnapped children. So.
Being used for a sweatshop.
Yeah. It's a little too real is what I'm saying.
Yep.
And here's when the movie...
As if we hadn't gotten to that point yet.
This movie, at this point, turns out the hair is magic.
Right.
Turns out the magic hair is magic. And when you paint with it, it's ultra realistic paintings that you can literally jump in and be a part of.
Yes.
The paintings move, they shimmer. Mm-hmm. The dad, because he can't leave his art, buys some of these brushes and continues painting. He's like, my work has never been so good.
Yep.
And I don't know.
Oh God, you're gonna have to do so much editing of me laughing loudly. I can't help it. This movie is just,
So here's how they win. Connie ends up figuring out that they're kidnapping kids, so he tricks himself into getting kidnapped, and he leaves a paint trail along the way, or something.
Yeah.
And they have this final showdown, and they have the bad art teacher paint some pictures and show off and be amazing, and oh, look at these amazing things. And they have him paint this abandoned, burned out building. And they have him go up into the building, and he gets scared, falls down, and has lost all of his hair.
Mm-hmm.
But not his goatee. And he looks like Walter White.
He sure does. Yep.
And so he's chasing them around, and then all that, and they haven't actually beat him, so then they end up catching him in a cage or something or whatever. And
right. Trapped inside the painting.
Was he trapped in the painting? No, I thought they just captured him in a cage or something.
Oh, I thought he finally got... Shit, I didn't get...
I don't remember.
I forgot. It's been so long.
I don't remember.
Get all the way to
and
the end
it doesn't
today.
matter. Because he's chasing them around.
Oh, yeah.
And he's bald and he's not in the painting. Like, that's the getting him to look at the scary thing is the last that they involve the paintings. That's it. Now they have to capture him for real. The paintings are uninvolved. They get him in a cage.
Yep.
And then they escape. And so now Matthew is like, oh, I get it. And he walks up the painting and goes and looks inside. And he walks into the building. And he finds the two ghosts. You're what scared me. Yeah. We scared you. You lost all your hair. Oh, but now I'm not scared of you. Yeah. You're not going to have weird hair anymore.
Oh.
Cool. Cool.
Great.
Cool.
That's great.
So the teacher gets arrested. They go home.
Yep.
The mom shows up. End of movie.
Roll credits.
For no reason. Turns out, one, she's alive.
Yeah.
Which
the
is
whole time.
Insane.
Yeah.
I assumed it was like, oh no, she died.
They kept setting it up, exactly. Yeah. That she had, like, that was the story that she had gone to Australia, but she had actually died in a terrible car wreck or something.
The dad and sister were like, no, she's dead, but Matthew can't handle it, so no, she's in Australia.
And she actually supposedly has been in Australia this whole time, but then she shows up.
But then it turns out she was gone for like a couple months.
Yeah. I loved when the professor was talking about his dog. Like, his first few lines were like, the dog's musses... Wait, he wasn't French. He was Italian for some reason. Wrong accent. But he was talking about the bold muscles of the dog.
Yes.
Like, and somehow equated it to this is how they needed to use their imagination for their drawing, for their painting.
Well, he's one of those bad teachers where if you don't think creatively the same way he thinks creatively, you're wrong.
Which was like when he's going around the classroom and he's like, yeah, that's terrible. And then he's like, he goes to the girl,
and he's like petting her hair and touching her shoulders.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
So creepy. And then he said, I think he said it to Connie. Actually, was Connie in the class?
Yeah.
I think he said to Connie, he tells Connie, I don't want to see imagination. I want to see accuracy.
Yeah. He did say that.
After he had just told everyone use your imagination.
I think I shouted what at my computer. I was
yeah.
No, it doesn't. Like, there were a couple times when even, like, watching it 1.5 speed on YouTube, I was like, I gotta see that again.
Yeah.
And that was one of them, because I was like, no. I'm sorry. No. Alright, so we've been talking about this for a while, so we have to figure out how to make this movie good. Because here's the thing. It can be.
Absolutely.
First of all, you gotta make the characters likable. Next thing. By the way, the paintings, the weird CG paintings, that's where the rest of their budget went, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, because they're these weird, fantastical, magical things, and they were really... those paintings looked good.
Mm-hmm.
That's where their budget went.
Absolutely.
So, because of that, I can't decide if we need to cut the magic hair, like, it has other properties or not. Because I think we need to keep it, because it's just weird piled on top of weird on top of weird. But at the same time, I feel like we need to start the movie with the two kids coming home. Hey, you want to go check out this building? No. Do it anyway. Great. Oh no, You lost all your hair. 3 minutes into the movie, we're in. That's how the movie starts.
Right.
All this, like, because it takes us 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
And this movie is...
It's an hour and a half. It's 90 minutes.
90 minutes, yeah. And I like the sister trying to be the mom, especially if the sister knows the mom is dead. And he's like, stop being like that. She's going to come back.
Yeah.
Sure. Stop wearing her clothes. She's going to be upset with you when she comes back. Sure. But I want to, like, the joke would be you can make the sister a little bit older, but no, I want her to stay a little bit younger, because then she can do all these things. Like, she gets into bed with the dad and is like, Dad, no, go to your room. Stop being weird. Don't do everything. This is a fun game you're playing, but don't be weird about it. And then let's talk about the ghosts.
Okay. Let's talk about them.
They have to be ghosts.
Yeah. Full-on ectoplasmic entities.
Yeah. The end. Like,
Yeah.
well, how do I know you're ghosts? Well, I'm floating. Yeah, that's a good indicator.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come over here and look at me. Am I on the ground? No.
Like, stick his hand through them,
Yeah.
or, like, drop a bowl on their heads, or something.
Or they're see-through.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do is this. I like the idea of them robbing the family, but they can't really take things, so I like the idea of them taking the essence of something. So, like, they're taking the essence of a box of cereal. So, the cereal was fresh, but now when you eat it, it tastes stale and gross. So they took the actual spirit of the thing with it. So now all that's left is just the physical components, and it's just not good anymore.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah.
And so they give him a solution, and they put some of these things into this. They make it for him.
Right.
Because they're ghosts and can. And so they're using their spiritual things to put this thing on his head. And so they're giving it like the spirit of hair. So it's like actually growing, like, oh my god, this is the best hair that could possibly be,
Right.
constantly growing. Everyone loves it. Oh my god, it's so amazing. Because it is the essence of the products. It's the spirit, it's the ghost of, and so that's how it works.
Yeah, it's the spiritual emanation of hair, but it's not actually real hair.
Well,
It's magical. It's spirit essence magical hair.
Yeah. It's really growing because it's like basically the spirit essence is making his follicles constantly grow hair.
Uh-huh.
But it's magic because the ghosts made it, and they made it with the essence of the ingredients with the homeopathy of the ingredients.
Ooh.
No, the essence of the ingredients instead of like the actual physical things. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise you're just dumping peanut butter in your head, kid. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like they literally can have him make it. It doesn't work. They're like, no, we'll show you. They do it. They make it. They put it on his head. It's like, well, I can't make that. I'm not a ghost. Do you want to be? No.
No.
Good choice.
I'm surprised that she didn't make that threat because that ghost lady was a total asshole.
Yeah.
But she
What
says,
does she care?
she's like, sometimes I'm very good, but sometimes I'm mean. And then
I think that's the foreshadowing for when we reveal that that's the... Here's the thing. I don't think we should ever find out what's in the building.
Oh, no.
I think that finding out that it's the two
that's
ghosts...
too much of a reveal.
Yeah. It needs to... It's the magic glowing box in Pulp Fiction. It doesn't matter.
Right.
He saw a scary thing, and it's up to us to try to figure out an idea of what it was.
Absolutely.
And I just think that, like, eventually it wears off. Whatever. But that also is, like, he's, like, weird magic ghost hair. So when they paint with it, they're actually the actual spirit and essence of what they're painting really works. Because it's the pure energy of that thing. And that's why it's so magical.
Right.
And that would be an okay movie, just with interesting characters.
Yeah, I would watch that. Who would you want to direct it?
We'll get there. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
What else do you think? Because what do you think of the movie as it is now? What is the core essence of this movie?
Okay. Well, Michael is going on this fantastical adventure that turns very dramatic.
Matthew.
Right.
Matthew. Oh, Matthew McKay. No, I'm sorry.
No, it's
You're right. It is Michael. The actor who plays him is Matthew McKay. He's playing the character. I've been calling him Matthew this whole time. His name is Michael. You're right. I'm wrong. I wrote down Matthew.
Only because I wrote it down 20 times.
And I wrote down the wrong thing.
No. Michael is having this fantastical adventure. Things go very awry, right? It's because it could totally be very... like Never-Ending Story.
Absolutely.
Right? Where he's having this fantastical adventure. There are all these, there are magical people and magical properties that are happening around him and to him, right? We've got to have, a sinister bad guy, but not a pedo, because that's too much.
I think we can still have... The teacher's name was the Signor.
The Signor, yeah.
I think we can still have him as the antagonist, because to a kid, a teacher is an amazing antagonist. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
But yeah, not a pedo. I mean, for all I care, he can be Gargamel.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Gargamel and his cat.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. You're right.
But Look, I kind of see this movie as Neverwhere. Have you read Neverwhere?
No.
It's a Neil Gaiman book where basically, like, as soon as you become aware of the world under the world, you start being able to see it everywhere. Something happens that triggers your, like, third eye or ability
Things
to see.
unseen cannot be unseen.
Yeah, it's because normal people water off a duck's back, brush right by, no concept of seeing this thing. But as soon as you do see it, you can't not see it. And so, Michael...
There you go.
all of a sudden just like starts seeing all these things all over the place and like oh wow, like he sees this scary thing and like all of a sudden enters this world of the unseen. But the thing is that he still doesn't have any hair and he feels bad about it. Sad.
Harumph.
So he looks for a magical solution. He happens to meet ghosts and he can honestly go on like a mini adventure in the magical world. Like, can you help me get my hair back? Dragon. Does it look like I have hair?
Right. Then it sort of becomes like a little bit more Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Then he's going on this journey to, okay, here could be another element.
Great.
That it's not just happening to him. Once it starts happening to him, it starts happening to other kids, right? So he's going on this journey to be the hero to figure out the solution, and then once he gets to that point, then it retcons all of the hair situation that's happening to all of these kids, right?
And it'd be especially important if really only kids are able to perceive it, because it's a magical world.
Of course.
And if the Signor is someone who used to be able to, he's Mr. Crocker from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Right.
And he's
That's perfect.
And he realizes, oh, these kids are being able to see this magical world. If I use them, I can get it back. He's just a desperate man trying to reclaim the wonder and imagination he had in his youth, as we all are.
Yes.
He doesn't necessarily want to hurt the kids. He just wants to be able to see what they see and experience their world again.
Right.
And also he's a weird, creepy old man. With a dog.
Yeah.
Or a cat. Who cares? And so that's what... And so, like, he figures out that once Michael has this magical thing in his hair, like, oh, that hair is that magical thing. I can use it. And he starts trying to figure out ways, and because he's a painter... He tries to paint with it, and he's like, I can reclaim it. I can see this magic again because I can see it in the paintings that I gave. The problem is that this is just one thing. What does this other kid see? I want his magic too. And I want this kid's magic.
Right.
And this kid's magic. And this kid's magic. And the sister is someone who's just old enough that she's losing that magic. But when they go to rescue her and everything comes back, for her it comes back for a little bit too. And Connie is figuring out what his magic is in the world.
Right.
For as long as he's able to imagine it. Because he's finally able to have that imagination. And so they're finally people who are able to not think with their minds, but think with their hearts or whatever.
Aww.
And it's a movie, and I think the movie will be about how it's important to have that kind of that magical belief and to hold on to things. And he can start the movie by looking for his mom and trying to find her.
Oh, absolutely.
And when he finally is like, oh, I guess I kind of have to acknowledge that she's gone and not coming back.
Right.
And that's like, yeah.
And that's the beautiful closure of the end of the movie where she...
I was going to say that's when the magic dies.
Oh.
And that's when his hair stops growing. Because the mom is not coming back. She's dead. End of movie.
You are a terrible person, Sam.
I can't bring people back from the dead, Devlin. Can't do it.
Come on, man. I never liked that part of the 3 wishes rules.
But would that work?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
So I recast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and that's it.
Okay.
So let's start with the cast, and then we'll get into the writer-director. So we have to start with Michael.
Sure.
The character of Michael, I have a kid named Benjamin Haig. Let me pull that up so you can see what
Is that the one in the King Arthur movie, in the King Arthur kids movie that just came out?
No, he's the kid in The Conjuring 2.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay.
He's just this little adorable, precocious little kid.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow!
Because here's a point in the podcast where I point this out. Normally for these episodes, I'm like, let's bring some color into this. Let's do a little diversity in this movie.
Uh-huh.
This movie doesn't work if the kid's black.
Right.
Because white kids are so concerned about their hair. I know for me,
Yep.
as a white 30-year-old, I'm real concerned about my hair.
Same.
I see like black kids and people and like kids of other ethnicities just I shaved my head. I just didn't want hair.
Right.
It doesn't work if it like
No.
like the kid has to be like
he would,
and that's why I think it'd be really funny if like he's interacting with people who are like, I don't have any hair. Do you have anything I can do about that? And people are like, who cares? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just hair.
Wear a hat, buddy.
Yeah. It'll grow back. It's
Yep.
hair. Whatever. Anyway, he's just a cute kid. He's been in stuff. Kind of like
that's good casting.
Who did you have for Michael?
So I didn't actually see it, but I picked up all of my SAG screeners yesterday that I haven't watched any of yet. But I got A Beautiful Boy, which I forgot about until I got the screener in my hands. I know it got rave reviews. I think that kid
Isn't that kid a little too old? I mean, there's this kid who plays him when he's 12 years old. I mean, look at this kid. This is a person.
Okay, not him.
Well, this is the one who plays the kid when he's 12 years old.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
He looks like a greaser.
Yeah, well, he looks like, have you seen Sandlot?
Oh, yeah.
He looks like the kid from Sandlot.
He totally does.
Because this is the kid from the movie. He's in Shazam now.
Ah, that makes sense.
That'll come back. Anyway.
Okay, I'll just agree with your casting.
Well, no, I think this might be the kid you're talking about. Because here is a child.
Okay, there we go.
So you're talking about Christian Convery? Convery.
Yes.
He's in Beautiful Boy, he's in Venom, he's in Descendants,
there we
he's
go.
in Playing with Fire. I mean, he's in Descendants 3 as Squeaky.
That looks like an American white kid.
Yeah, let's go with him.
And look at his hair in that picture.
Look at his lustrous locks.
His lustrous locks, exactly.
Yeah,
I think that kid would work very well.
They'd show up to the same audition, and I think this kid would just beat out the other one. Mm-hmm. Good. Christian Convery. Which leads us to, I wrote just down his friend, but name's Connie, whatever.
Connie.
Who'd you have for the friend?
I am honestly, I really don't know.
You don't have any small Asian children at your fingertips, and I use that word intentionally.
He is the token Asian. If we're staying with an Asian American for this,
I think we should. Because let's be honest, this is a very white movie.
Oh,
the movie's about a kid who loses his hair.
Yeah,
it's a white movie.
Absolutely.
Like, just I mean, I'd love to bring like more diversity into this.
From the ABC show, right?
It's right here.
Is it? Fresh Off the Boat. Yes.
The actor I have is Ian Chen from Fresh Off the Boat. He's in the new Shazam movie. He's been in Grey's Anatomy. Look, we're all angry at this kid's IMDb page. But he's a great actor. He's on Fresh Off the Boat. He's very, very funny. And he's funny without necessarily being stereotypical. Mm-hmm. He's just a kid who happens to be Asian. So great.
Absolutely.
That's why I think we should go with Ian Chen.
Look at that smile.
Look at that smile.
That kid's ready to go, man.
Yeah. And Michael doesn't get to keep the solution, so Ian doesn't get to put the solution on his dick. It's weird. No one likes it.
No, we do not.
It's bad. So that brings me to the sister.
The sister.
Who'd you have for the sister?
Okay, so she's got to be a little bit older.
Little bit, yeah.
She's angling towards her teens. She's got to be, she's trying to be a lot more mature than she really is, right?
Right.
I know she might be a little bit older than what we're going for, but I'm going to go with Barb from Stranger Things.
Ah. Do you know that actress's name?
I should, but I don't remember.
She's 21.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Her name is Shannon
Purser.
Shannon
so
Purser.
Sorry, Shannon. I'm sorry.
She was born in 1997, which means she's 21.
Okay, well.
Shannon Purser. Well, let's see who I have. Because obviously she plays younger.
Absolutely.
I have...
Because Shannon Purser, in that role, she's so sweet and very kind and innocent, but she's also very authoritative when she needs to be.
Absolutely.
Right? Which is why
Barb.
we were like, exactly.
She's the one true squirrel
sobbing. Girl. Oh my God! Oh! I know that Milana Weintraub is going to be playing her, which will be awesome, but
we all love Milana Weintraub.
We do. We do.
She's great.
You cannot not love Milana, but
But also, it would have been great if it had been Shan.
I think when the Squirrel Girl movie comes out, they should include the Skrull plotline, and Shannon Purser should be a Squirrel Girl, and we get all mixed up in that, and then they have to fight Thanos, and okay, that's a totally different podcast episode.
So much I don't know about things. My sister, whose name I don't know, is Isabella Cravetti. And the IMDb page on this little girl is astounding. It says that the biggest thing that she's been in recently is Joy, as young Joy. Joy was the movie with who's her face?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Thank you, Jennifer Lawrence. She's in The Talk. She's in Mustache Dude. I don't know whatever that is. She was in The Great Gatsby. She's Shine in the TV show Shimmer and Shine.
Okay.
She's Vampirina in the TV show Vampirina. She's in Colony and Secrets and Lies and Scorpion.
She's been busy.
She's a very prolific young actress.
I see that.
But she's also in a lot of dramas and things. And so I feel like she'd kind of be able to do that take charge. No, this is what's happening. Mm-hmm. But also she's a child, so it's still funny.
Right.
So I want her to be playing that dramatic self, but in a comedy.
Got it.
So that's the idea. Cool. So then, let's talk about the dad. I'll go first this time. The dad, who needs to kind of be a little bit more bumbling than he is.
I gotta bring up one more thing about the dad.
Please.
Is that... They're very... As lost as they get in the writing, they really get some great meta points throughout the movie. One of them being how the whole thing is that this poor boy is turning into Cousin It, and yet his dad is definitely going bald himself.
Right.
And has been for quite some time.
Absolutely.
He's got a full, golf strip through the middle of his head.
Yep. And in Battlestar Galactica, he's very bald.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. But which is why my casting is Scott Adsit.
I can't do any better than that.
I mean... He is the bald guy from 30 Rock.
Yes.
And just in my head, it's this idea of he goes to the kid and goes, "You had a magical solution to grow hair back, and you didn't give any to me."
Exactly. That's exactly.
The hell, Michael? That's all I want. That's the entire dad involvement.
Yes,
that's what's necessary.
100%. The only other person that I could possibly pick that has already been previously mentioned in this episode is Bryan Cranston.
Right.
Because, I
for sure considered him for the
very
senior.
Serious, but also simultaneously totally hilarious.
Right. It would be funny, except he still has a full head of hair.
Well, he's gotten rid of it before.
Yeah, it's true.
Bald cap.
Yeah, but at that point, he's just being... If there's any actor you can't put in a bald cap, it's Bryan Cranston. At that point, there's no movie he can do now, no TV show he can be in.
And he won't be Walter White. Yeah, okay, well, sure.
But I agree with you. I do think it needs to be someone bald. So Scott Adsit.
That would be great.
That brings us to...
No, you're right. Scott Adsit has to be it. You're right.
That brings us to the Senior. Now, it needs to be someone who is... just a real
I'm
weirdo.
Going back to, you mentioned Gargamel before.
Yeah.
The guy who played Gargamel in the Smurfs movies.
Who plays Gargamel in the Smurfs movies?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But whoever that actor is.
Let's find out. Oh, Rainn Wilson?
Are you serious? Rainn Wilson is Gargamel?
Rainn Wilson is Gargamel.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
That's not bad.
Well, I have to watch at least one of them now.
I guess. I wasn't gonna. Still not.
But I love Rainn Wilson so much.
The person that I had for the Senior is an actor who's just a real weirdo. You may not recognize his name, but as soon as you pull up a picture of Stephen Tobolowsky.
Oh my god, Stephen Tobolowsky, yes. Oh.
And
he's such a profound character actor. Oh my god, wow.
But he's another person who is bald, and therefore it's funny
bald,
when the bald kid gets hair, and he's just like, the hell? It has to be magic.
Right.
And and that's why I just thought he was funny. And also, he's totally into, the woo-woo mystical stuff.
For sure.
And he can go back and forth between being goofy and fun. and being sinister, but in a kid way. That's why I thought it would be Stephen Tobolowsky would be fun. Rainn Wilson would also be fun because he also can play that like just this weird side of whatever. So I'll go with whoever you think. But like, I mean, if you like Rainn Wilson, maybe we have to go with Rainn Wilson.
I love Rainn Wilson so much.
Rainn Wilson?
Yeah.
All right, Rainn Wilson.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing I did. I don't have 2 ghosts. I just have 1 ghost. Just a lady. Because we don't need to have an old hobo man die. It's just a ghost lady who's robbing him.
Okay. Great.
Do you have more than that? Do you have both ghosts?
I mean, I have a whole list.
For the ghosts?
Here's what I thought
Please.
of, actually, is that I would love it to be Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Like, both playing ghosts who are both, like, robbing him at the same time.
Right.
And doing their whole shtick, you know?
Yeah. Are they character-y enough?
Are they character-y enough? Yes!
I mean in appearance.
They're the most character-y. Yeah.
I'm open to the idea. The person that I have is an actress named...
Okay. If we're going with one person to play them both...
We're not necessarily. I'm more than happy to do 2.
Okay, I'm fine with this scenario. I'll tell you who it should be. Maria Bamford.
Okay.
Do you know Maria Bamford?
Of course, I know Maria Bamford.
She's nuts.
Correct.
But
in a good way.
In a great way, right? She's like, her personal stance is already... Listeners, you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm sort of doing a slow Kermit arm flail. She's always very... Her entire essence is sort of always a little bit fidgety. And so I think she would make an incredible ghost. Plus, she's freaking hilarious.
I love Maria Bamford.
Or maybe like Amy Sedaris.
Nope, too weird. Let's go with Maria Bamford, and let's pair her with Eddie McClurg. Eddie McClurg is...
Oh my God!
Is this character actress.
Oh, I know who she is.
John Hughes movies, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She's hysterical and amazing, and she needs to be in more things.
And the very short-lived 80s series Out of This World, which I watched, I don't know how many times as a kid. Have you seen this show?
Never heard of it.
She played the nosy neighbor, and it was about this girl who was half human and half alien, and her mom was human, her dad was the alien, and her dad was played by Burt Reynolds.
Weird.
And she communicated with him through this crystalline box that would open, and it would do this cool little like CGI glow thing, and she would talk to her dad, and he would give her advice while she was having, these teenage adventures. And one of her many powers was that she could touch her pointer fingers together and stop time. Right, which very much Zach
Morris
from Saved by the Bell,
yeah.
Exactly. Which I have had many debates over the years as to who stole what from who, but I think that Saved by the Bell writers. Saved by the Bell 90s? Well, it started in the late 80s after, because I think Out of This World was.
It'd be funny if it was the same writers.
86 to 88. I want to say.
I will take your word for it. Don't have time.
But, God. Edie McClurg is a great pull.
Good. All right. Sure. Edie McClurg and Maria Bamford are the ghosts. That's all the characters I had. So that just leaves me with writer, director, or writer/director.
Okay. So we want this movie to be... We still wanted to very much... We wanted to have a fantasy element. We wanted to be an adventure.
All right.
Right? But because I love the dark essence of it, not the creepy element,
sure,
but the dark element of the movie, right?
Uh-huh.
I would love Guillermo to direct this.
You want Guillermo del Toro to direct Peanut Butter Solution? My pick's not much better, and you'll see.
Okay. Great.
As long as we're all right, Richard Linklater.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay, tell me.
He directed Boyhood.
Yeah.
But also School of Rock.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And it's the essence of figuring out what is childhood, but also, hey, let's have some fun.
Sure.
So my choice isn't much better. He's presumably directed other things.
Yeah.
And, like, he really gets to the essence of what it is to be a child.
Oh, yeah.
But Guillermo del Toro would have a lot more fun with ghosts.
For sure. Or, of course, Tim Burton.
We can't do Tim Burton. I can't. I'm so sick of Tim Burton.
Okay. Throw him out.
I would much rather do Guillermo del Toro.
He's incredible. I think he would do a great job with it.
Yes. So let's talk about the writer then.
Okay.
My writer wrote Little Miss Sunshine and Toy Story 3.
Holy crap.
It is a writer named Michael Arndt.
Right.
Arndt. You know stuff better than I do. Yeah, him. And he wrote both those things. So basically, it's something that can be heartfelt and wonderful like Little Miss Sunshine and heartfelt and wonderful like Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
But in different ways.
Okay.
So we have the weirdness of Guillermo del Toro and that weird sense of humor that he has. But then you come in with like the childlike wonder of Toy Story 3 as well as the deeply meaningful personal relationships of Little Miss Sunshine.
Great.
That's what I have for writer.
Okay.
Who'd you have?
All right. So the guy I picked is pretty much only known so far for one show, and he's mostly a TV writer. But he gets it right with writing very well written stuff about kids and family, but also knows how to really tug on the heartstrings. Adam F. Goldberg.
From the Goldbergs?
The Goldbergs.
Interesting choice. Now, the reason why I wouldn't go with him is because he's only done the Goldbergs, and the Goldbergs is basically a hilariousified version of his own childhood.
Right.
Leaning heavily on nostalgia.
The thing that I love about Adam so much, which is the whole essence of the Goldbergs, I love him and the show so much because he really gets like nostalgia and pop culture and the eccentricities of a Modern Family. Although, speaking of that, one of the writers from Modern Family.
No, absolutely not.
I think Adam F. Goldberg would be a really interesting choice that no one could expect, and I think he would do an amazing job.
I will give you Adam F. Goldberg for one reason and one reason only.
What? Okay.
Peanut Butter Solution came out in 1986.
That's right.
That's your entire argument, which means that he's seen it and he loves it because it's from the 80s.
I fully believe in my heart of hearts that he has seen it and he has the same opinions about it that I do, where it's totally weird and fucked up, but he watches it about every 5 years or so and he's like, this is way out there. I still love it.
That's a good reason, because 1986.
Exactly.
There you go. So I have some weird trivia for you about this movie.
Okay.
First of all, Skippy Peanut Butter paid for prominent
I noticed that.
product placement in this movie.
They had,
I noticed always facing. That's if anything, this movie is made by Skippy.
Just like Reese's and E.T.
well, that's like they went to them. I would believe that Skippy was like, let's make a movie about peanut butter.
Actually, they didn't. It was supposed to be M&M's.
No, I know. The E.T. people went to M&M's and then they went to Reese's. Reese's was like, we'll do it.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I meant like Skippy went to Hollywood. Them? We want a peanut butter movie. Here's some money.
Are you serious?
No, I'm saying that would be crazy, right? That's my conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah.
Because they make a movie called Peanut Butter's the Solution. Skippy
Peanut Butter.
I would believe that. I have no evidence to back that up, but I'd believe it.
That is, not
a
bad theory.
Here is the thing that will blow your mind the most.
I'm ready for it.
This film features the first English language songs performed by Celine Dion.
Holy crap. Oh, I forgot. Yes.
The French language version of this film, because this movie is both in English and French, which is why it sounds weird, because every single English line is dubbed, features French language versions of the same songs. So basically she sang it in French and then sang it in English.
Listeners, you can't see this right now, but my mouth is on the floor.
It is agape. This movie is so French-Canadian, it hurts.
Oh
because Celine Dion is like, right. I'm coming, Hollywood.
That's right. I forgot that I knew that.
All right. So with that in mind, let me take you through our cast of this movie. Peanut Butter Solution by Devlin and Sam. Michael will be played by Christian Convery. His friend Connie will be Ian Shen. His sister will be Isabella Crovetti. His dad will be Scott Adsit. The Signor will be Rainn Wilson. The ghosts will be Eddie McClurg and Maria Bamford. Written by Adam F. Goldberg and directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Holy
Devlin,
crap.
will you go see our new Peanut Butter Solution?
I already purchased tickets.
Great.
My future self already has them in his pocket.
Amazing. Devlin, thank you so much for being a guest on this episode.
Thank you, Sam.
What would you like to promote? What do you want people to know about you, to follow, to do whatever?
I would love for you to listen to my podcast, which
Please
is called Faux Real. That's FAUX. You can find it across all of the podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and even the Laughable Comedy app. You will know it's my show because it has a unicorn with headphones as the logo.
It's super fun. His last interview is with a guy named Corey Davis, who organizes all of these amazing Hollywood reunion movie.
Mostly from the 80s and 90s, and some horror movies thrown in here and there.
And he's also a social advocate, and it's great, and it's just a good interview.
Yes.
Sponsored by Raw Stress for Less.
Thank you for bringing Corey up, because his next event is actually coming up on April 2nd at the Village
This episode
Theater.
comes out after that.
Well, crap. Well, your past selves have already seen it, but on April 2nd he's doing a Scream trilogy, and I know that David Arquette will be there and some other people, so that's going to be pretty cool.
This episode will come out on the 18th, I believe, of April.
Great.
Yeah. So Faux Real Podcast, listen to it, subscribe it, learn it, love it.
Yes, please.
Instagram and Twitter.
I am at all the places at my name, Devlin Wilder, and that's Devlin, Devlin, not Devin, not Delvin, Devlin Wilder, like Gene Wilder.
My son is also named Bort. Good.
Love it.
If you're interested in following me, I'm at Sam Gasch on Twitter, SamGasch. If you're interested in following the show, we are at Ideal Remake on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook, Ideal Remake and Ideal Remake Podcast. If you want to tell one friend this week about the show, I would really appreciate it, and I would love you for it. So please, listeners, do it for little bald Michael. He just wants his hair back so bad.
He really does.
That he's willing to trust two random people in his home in order to get it.
Oh, also, you can follow Faux Real at all of the places, social media-wise, at Faux Real Pod. Cool.
Good. Love it. And so then I will end with saying that the best way to lose your hair is also the best way to get rid of hiccups. With a scare.
Boo!